I totally believe in and would love to play it live. So
That's awesome. I'd love to see it live.
yeah.
And kind of last question, it's kind of funny. Your musical career and Rogers seem like the double helix kind of intertwining every few years. Through Jellyfish, TV Eyes, Back with Beck. Do you foresee any future projects with Roger?
Um, probably not, but you never know. I mean, we just had a blast. We were out for like 4.5 months back, and that was a lot of fun. I think that actually Joey, I think that Roger would be involved with this too. When we do like some insane like hardcore, like an old LA hardcore punk kind of thing, because essentially JMJ, the bass player with the afro,
Yeah, yeah.
he and I, and Roger too, but the three of us all grew up on, amidst other things, but on LA hardcore, and have this real love and affection for this period of, the Descendants and Black Flag and Circle Jerks and Adolescence and all that stuff. And so it's pretty funny, but like when the first show that we did back in the beginning of June, just JMJ had this little speaker, this little Bluetooth speaker, and he backstage, and it's fun, it's loud, and he put on Richie Dagger's Crying by the Germs or something, and just like 30 minutes before we're going on stage, and we just poured tequila shots, and I was like, this is gonna be fun, right? Like, amazing. I love this guy. I mean, I've known Justin for a long time, but I had never really toured with him like this. And that became a ritual. So every night before the Beck show, and not everybody in the band likes this music, by the way. Beck does, but some of the other guys are definitely like, they were kind of like bummed out because you couldn't even talk in the dressing room. It was so loud. And we're just blasting, TV Party, Black Flag, and all this stuff. And at the end of the tour, we were just like, oh my God! I was like, what am I going to do, man? I'm going to be sitting around in my studio by myself, just listening to the Adolescents, going, where are my friends? And we all were like, and it was just like the parking lot thing. We were like, oh my God, let's record something, because we're all producers and musicians, and Joey Waronker would be the drummer as well, and we're all like. We were like marveling at some of the sounds of these records. I mean, they sound amazing. And I used to just think that they sounded like a mess when I was a kid. And it sounded so alien and weird and scary to me when I was a kid, when I first heard them, when I was like 11 and 12 years old.
Right.
And now if you play that Drums GI record, it sounds insane. Like, it's really well recorded, and it's tougher than anything you can imagine. And, so we would sit there and go, like, how does it sound so tough? Like, what's going on? And, we kind of came up with all these theories, and of course the main one being tape. But that's why all records from the past that sound so burly and muscular, it's because of tape. So we did make a plan. We have yet to follow through with it, but to record something, maybe just have just a 7-inch or something, but like a fully like old LA hardcore thing, and of course have Beck get involved here and do something. But he's like I couldn't keep up with you guys, man. There's no way. He's like I'll just sit there and watch you guys and maybe scream something in the background, but you guys are like monsters. Like, you'd be able to like play the crap out of that stuff. And he's like, I would just slow everybody down, which is not true. But anyway, so maybe that's the next one.
That would be amazing to hear.
Yeah.
So what else? I know that you're working on your a new solo album as well. What else?
I am. I'm doing that right now.
And when can we expect the next album from Jason Falkner?
Well, I feel so guilty for saying over the years that next summer, but and because I am the boy who cried wolf. But I think next summer. I think actually before the summer. What I'm doing is I just bought this really crazy recording console. I already have a cool recording console from the 70s, but I bought a different one, a much better one. So that's being gone through by the seller in Chicago, and then it's going to be shipped out to me, and I should have that all set up here within a few weeks. And I've already recorded 5 songs for a new record, but only 1 or 2 of them have lyrics and a vocal on them. The lyrics are like the hard thing for me. So, but I have a ton of ideas. I definitely have a direction that I want it to go sonically. I would be done with it by like January, and then I'm not going to do the thing that I've done in the past where it came out in Japan and then years later comes out here, because it just takes the wind out of the sails. That was certainly never my intention to do things like that.
Is that tough for you? Like, I mean, because you've got your fans, and the only way they can get your stuff is like a $40 disc after shipping and stuff. I mean,
yeah,
is that tough on your fans?
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure it is. And it's not how I want things to be. I mean, the whole Japanese connection with me happened because they literally just said, we want to really serve. There was these guys have a band in Japan that are very, very popular called Really, and they're massive, Jason Falkner fans. I suppose they're massive Jellyfish fans, and they have their own label in Japan, and they contacted me and just said, look, we want to put out you have another record. We would love to put it out. They give me in advance. They give me like actually pretty decent money for an independent label, and right there is the fire under my tuchus. Like if somebody's giving me money, I got them. Cool. Now I'm making a record because I have some money.
Right.
Like, that's not why I do it, but it's the fire that will make me finish it.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And
absolutely.
And so so that's how that came about. And then they released it. I went over there like 3 or 4 years in a row, starting in like 2000, and saw my profile grow rapidly over there. Like I started doing the first time was 2 nights in this little tiny amazing place that's holds 150 people, and 2 nights sold out. So that's whatever, 300. And then the next time, playing 1 night at a 600 capacity place, and then the next time selling out 1,000-seater, all in the span of 3 years of one album.
Wow.
In 3 years. So that was cool, and that's kind of where I went for a little while. I was just like dealing with Japan and doing a few shows here. But when I do shows here, I lose money. So without a label, it's hard. So anyway, and then the second record, the most recent record of mine, which is called All Quiet on the Noise, is something I'm so proud of, and I'm really not happy that to date that's only been released in Japan. My same friends that put out Okay, You're Okay in the U.S., which is a distribution company called Cobra Side, they wanted to put out All Quiet on the Noise floor as well, and I just wasn't happy with the distribution deal because it's nothing. There's no promotion.
Right.
They just make a product, and then they put it in shops, but nobody knows it's there. So, it's not ideal. And I just, so I kind of blew that off, and then here we are years later. I was like, fuck, I should have done that, because at least it would be available. At least it would be on iTunes here and all that stuff, and there would be CDs and vinyl of it. But so what I'm thinking is this next record, when it's almost done, I'm going to send it to some of the people that I know that run cool labels. I do actually know a lot of people that on the music, and
right.
And I mean, I could after this much time, but and just say, look, I know I'm not 20 years old. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. And here's my new. Can you hear me? Oh, sorry, that was here I am. And I'll just say, look, here's my new record, and what a beautiful thing would be is to do a release of All Quiet on the Noise floor, like while I'm finishing this record. So you have that record, and
kind of wet the palate.
What's that?
To wet the palate so that when
to wet the palate and piggyback it with my new record, and so there'll be this release of that one, and then the bigger like explosive thing of the new one. And to me, that's my plan. Hopefully I can make that happen. Oh, there's also something I should mention. This record that I am actually looking for a label.